what's really impressive with this page, what I like about those guys, is, the postings.
And I wonder, why do we just constantly rip roofs off every 17 years in the US? And
again, they have a very clear in mind, like, who they want to target with their postings. So paid advertising is really the same thing, just on steroids. So you can apply the same principles. It's ridiculous. Like, you can look at the numbers. Like, if you really do it right, you can, get hundreds of leads from it. Like, you can spend $20 and get 1,000 impressions on your ad and on your posts.
Hey, Myrtle Beach homeowners, we're saving you $1,000 off your roof replacement or no interest.
It's attention grabbing.
$1,000 off your roof replacement. You can put that towards your golf game. I know I need it.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how to build your local brand as a roofing contractor and as a contractor in general, because over the years of working with roofing companies, roofing contractors, and even scaling a couple companies from $1 million a year to $2 million a year, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million plus, one of the biggest factors determining your success when it comes to scaling your roofing company is actually building a strong brand. You can do all the advertising you want, you can do all the SEO that you want. If you don't have a brand, if people don't know who you are in your local market, it's going to be pretty rough for you, because there's more and more roofing companies starting businesses, so the market is being flooded with contractors. And if you still want to land the good deals, the good homeowners that are willing to pay for premium, you will have to build a brand and you will have to gain their trust. So right now, like, it's kind of like a pandemic. A lot of roofers that I talk to, and I talk to a lot of them, have those problems right here. So you're losing jobs on lower bids, meaning you talk to a lot of homeowners, you write a lot of estimates, you give a lot of quotes, but they just kind of like choose the cheaper companies over your company. Then you're not getting the customers that you would like. Like, a lot of the times, no matter if you're running paid advertising, if you're buying leads, if you're getting organic leads, you're just maybe not getting like the perfect customers. So the wealthy homeowners with the big homes that are easier and better to deal with, where you make more money on a project, they give you very good solid referrals. Gaining their trust and attracting those customers is just getting harder and harder. Then your lead costs are probably pretty high, because there's just so many advertisers, so many people running leads, doing leads, and so many roofing companies in your local market that acquiring a lead can be pretty expensive if you don't have a solid brand. Then it's also getting harder to sell people. Like, you might have realized, like, in your selling process, your close rates, like your sales reps might report that it's just harder to land a job nowadays compared to how it was like a couple years ago. And again, the reason is probably because there's like so many more roofing companies, and it's just becoming a commodity. So you gotta have a differentiator in your company that makes people want to pay more and people want to go with you over all the other roofing companies that are out there. And then the last thing, it's pretty inconsistent, like in terms of like word of mouth. Like, it's more or less going up and down. Like, if you don't have a brand, you're not getting a steady flow of business coming in. Like, you might get a good amount of word of mouth coming in, but it's not controllable. You don't have like a consistent flow of leads coming in every single day, every single week. And why you should build a brand is pretty obvious. I mean, there's like, apart from everything that I just told you, there's a lot of benefits to it. Like, you get more organic leads. So like I said, more consistent organic leads for word of mouth, people reaching out to you. Then you have just higher end leads reaching out to you. So like I said, like the wealthier homeowners, people with $1 million homes where you just make a lot on a project, you have consistency year round. It's pretty much an unfair advantage also when it comes to like advertising. Like, if you're running any ads in terms of like Facebook ads and anything like that, if you have a strong brand in the local market, people just trust you a lot more, so you stick out, apart from like the other advertisers and roofing companies in your market. So it's really an unfair advantage. And then customers pay more and are easier to close. Like, you can charge a premium if you have a premium product, as long as you have the brand to back it and if you have the trust of the homeowners. So, those are things that like people like Alex Hormozy, Adam Benzman, like big names in the space that, scale companies to multi-million dollars and are consulting multi-million dollar roofing companies are saying, like, building a brand, like, it's more important than ever before when it comes to how everything's shifting in 2025. And that's just because everybody's getting aware. Like, all the roofing companies know that there's, they can do advertising, so they do it. And there's like more and more companies and advertisers out there, and it's just getting saturated. And especially roofing, it's kind of like, you might have some, different things like, like a lifetime warranty or like a premium shingle, but it's not like your company is like super different from all the other companies out there. And, there's like a lot of examples. Like, you can go out there, like, just a couple examples right here, like Mighty Dog Roofing, Bone Dry Roofing, Mr. Roof, like huge companies doing millions and millions of dollars a year. They all have one thing in common, and that is that they have a big brand. And obviously a big brand, I'm going to walk you through in this video how to, establish your brand in the local market, even if it's on a smaller scale. because like obviously, you know, a big brand also comes from just doing good work over a long enough period of time and just getting a lot of customers doing work and just spreading the word of mouth. But that's not all to it. Like, especially if you're, you know, starting off, or you're doing like, I don't know, like $1 million a year with your roofing business right now, and you just want to get to the next level, then there's like a lot of very quick steps and things that you can implement, leveraging platforms like on, you know, on social media to actually build your brand and kind of like become, you know, a status symbol like those companies just in your local market. So you might not obviously become like a big franchise right away, spreading all your locations across the US. Like, you can get there eventually, but the strategy is to start small in a local market and, you know, establish an authority that those companies do have. So what most roofers do to kind of like approach this is really like two ways. So obviously there's the old stuff, like, you know, wrapping your trucks, running like billboards, stuff like that, you know, flyers, sending out a lot of flyers. And those things, like especially flyers and billboards, I mean, they work. It's okay. Like, you can do it, especially, you know, if you have the spare money to spend, you know, if you're a big company and you want to, you know, just open up a lot of avenues in terms of building your brand. I would definitely recommend that. I mean, why not? But the thing with that is that it's just like there's a lot more effective ways, especially when it comes to like billboards and flyers. That's like stuff that's, it's all becoming virtual. You know, like when you look at like what's out there now in terms of like Facebook, Instagram, social media, it's pretty much the same stuff. Like, if you think about it, like let's say you print like 5,000 flyers and you just spread them all across the town, or even 10,000 or more than that. You know, a couple of people will kind of like see those flyers, and, you know, that's kind of like an impression on the flyer. And the same thing goes for the billboard, like people driving across the street seeing the billboard, so you get impressions on it. Now, the thing is that people nowadays, like, there's hundreds of millions of people on their phones, on Facebook and on Instagram every single day for hours, after work, before work, while work. So, you know, you can essentially apply those things like flyers and billboards and apply them to social media. So people scroll through Facebook, they scroll through Instagram, and they see posts, you know, with your logo on it, with kind of like flyers and billboards, and they recognize them. So that way you can get not only way more impressions, because you can post it and across the town, like whatever your service area is, like people will see it. And the second thing is that people pay a lot more attention to it, because like in real life, kind of like, you know, if you see a billboard, like most people will kind of like just drive past it, like they won't really recognize it. And, you know, even like, you know, when it comes to like people actually like saving the phone number and actually giving you a call and asking for a quote, like not a lot of people will do that. Some people do, of course, but the percentage of people doing that on social media is like a lot higher, because you scroll through your phone, like your phone has 100% of your attention right now, and then the whole screen is taken up with your post. And if you can catch their attention in that little post, all they need to do is click one link, like, you know, click one button, and they can call you. So it's just a lot more efficient. You can reach a lot more people. So that's kind of like the new stuff. But then at the same time, obviously, there's so many roofers out there doing the same stuff and just posting on social media, and they all do the same thing. Like, what you can see right here is like, yeah, I mean, everybody has like a Google My Business profile. Everybody's posting their roofing projects. Everybody's posting like, you know, some ads and things on Facebook. But what happens is kind of like the same thing that happened with kind of like the old stuff, because like there's just so many roofers picking up on this that homeowners just see the same stuff all over Facebook and Instagram all day long. Like, they scroll through and they see one ad after another looking the same. And if you just do the same stuff and don't stick out at all, then you're, once again, just going to be like another roofer amongst thousands and thousands of other roofers. So you're not going to build a brand. Like, this stuff doesn't build a brand. You know, you might get a couple followers, like people saying, okay, that's a nice project, let me follow that page. But if you really want to establish a brand, then that's just not enough. Like just posting pictures and stuff like that. So how to actually leverage social media? There's, first of all, there's like a lot of different platforms, obviously Facebook, Instagram, but then also like Yelp, Angie, Nextdoor, YouTube, and dozens more. So I would recommend, like, if you really are serious about this, like, get on as many platforms as possible. Like, sign up for every single platform that's out there, even Thumbtack, Angie, Yelp, Nextdoor, YouTube. Do everything, post everywhere, get reviews everywhere, like everything that you can, do it. Be broad. In this video, I want to talk specifically about Facebook and Instagram, because that's like kind of like just the main hub when you think about it, where most people are, like, you know, especially when talking about like homeowners, like people, you know, 30 plus. So I'm going to talk about Meta. Meta, by the way, is Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, like I said, like you get the most amount of users that spend a lot of time on those platforms. You get engagement, so people can actually like your post. They can share your post with other homeowners. they can follow your page. You can kind of like build a small community, a small network, and I'm going to show you some examples here in a second. And then the third thing is, and that's really like strong, you've definitely heard about Facebook ads, Instagram ads, maybe you tried it yourself, and the reason why that doesn't work a lot of the time is because you don't approach it right. Like, you're not trying to gain trust. You're usually, like, when it comes to running Facebook ads, like I said, just doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, or pushing out like a discount or a price. But if you actually build a brand and actually leverage paid ads to build a brand, then it's essentially the same thing on steroids. Like, it's crazy. Like, you can get thousands of impressions for cheap, and I'm gonna walk you through in a second here how to set that up. So also, like, make organic and paid ads work together. Like, they can really work together. That also takes back to the pixel tracking, so I'm also going to get into. So essentially, there's the Facebook pixel, which is like a code, and you can put it on your website, you can put it on your landing page, you can put it on your ads, like everywhere you can put this pixel. And Facebook, like the meta algorithm, is very smart. So it will be like, if you happen to run paid ads or do organic posting, Facebook will know exactly, just from like the history of the data of people engaging with your stuff, will know exactly what people to show your posts and your ads to. So you're just going to attract more and more people that are in your like ideal audience, if that makes sense. So that all might sound like a bit confusing right now, but let me just walk you through. So first part of it, like I said, is organic. Like, that's organic is, by the way, what we call it when, there's no money behind it. Like, you just post. Like, you just create pictures, videos, and you post. So obviously what you got to have up front is a Facebook page and an Instagram profile. Just make it look clean. Like, that's just like an example right here. Like, have your branding on it. Ideally, some like recognizable branding colors. Have like a nice banner in there, a nice logo. What you can also do is you can put the location in your name. Like, you can, instead of naming the page Apex Roofing, you can name it Apex Roofing Houston to make it like very, centralized, like in terms of the local area. And definitely also put your data in here, like as much as you can, in terms of address, phone number, email, website, other social links. Put all that stuff in there. And then I would definitely recommend, at least to start off with, to have like a couple like just branded posts. So those can be like more generic posts, like those right here, where it's like just, your logo on it, like branding colors, just like maybe a couple photos of roofs, like just to make your page look legit. And then do that both on Instagram and on Facebook. So you have this set up, perfect. Ideally, you already have a couple followers on there, but if not, then that's, no problem. That's what we're here for. We want to build a brand, we want to build a community. So then, in terms of like advice that I can give you when it comes to like organic posting specifically, keep it local and build a community. So just kind of like break that down into more specific steps. First of all, you want to talk about, you want to talk to a specific audience. Like, you want to niche down. That's how we call it. And I'm going to show you like a Facebook profile example in a second that I really love, and show you like how this is applied in action. But you want to niche down, so you want to think about, who do I want to work with, and you want to speak to those people, because trust me, you'd much rather have a Facebook page with 1,000 or 2,000 followers, but those are all your perfect ideal customers, like multi-million-dollar homes, like perfect people that you want to work with. I would rather have that than a page with like 20,000 followers, but they're like pretty much everybody and their grandma's following your page. So be specific. Don't just talk about like roofing, because that's what everybody's doing. Don't be generic. Talk about specific things, like, synthetic slate, or, things that those like higher end homeowners might be interested in. Then the second point, focus on entertainment and education. Like, nobody's on this platform to look at a picture of a roof saying, we are your professional local roofing company. Like that, nobody looks at that, nobody wants that. It's just annoying, and everybody's doing that. So instead of, being so generic, try to focus on two things. Again, entertainment. So you can do a couple posts where you just do funny things. Like, you can record videos, you can do images, you can even post memes. Like, you can get creative with it and just do stuff that's entertaining, because at the end of the day, people don't go on Facebook and Instagram because they want to look at roofing ads. They go on there to, look at interesting stuff or entertain themselves. So entertainment is one thing, and then the second thing is education. So educating your ideal audience on something that's relevant for them. So that's why I say niche down, because some stuff is just not relevant. Like, if you're talking about synthetic slate Brava premium shingles, your average homeowner with a 10 square foot home that's just looking to get like a cheap roof done is probably not going to be interested in that. So when it comes to education, educate, keep in mind what again, your niche down ideal audience is actually interested in. Then the third thing, use local insiders to actually build trust. So that's kind of like a quick hack. Like if you want to build a community and a brand in a very specific local market, like you can use landmarks, you can use football teams, you can use local celebrities, like just stuff like that really like only people that live there would actually recognize. And that way you kind of like just establish yourself and your brand and your company as, locally owned, local. You can even introduce yourself as the owner, posting yourself on the Facebook page, talking about how you grew up in that area, and that just really like builds like an extra layer of trust in your local area. Works really well. And then the fourth point, make people want to engage, comment, and share. So that's like also like a very important thing. Like tell people to like your posts, to share your post, to comment something down below. Like just try to make them engage, and you don't even have to tell them like this post or comment on this video. It's much better if you do it like indirectly. So as I said, if you do really like entertaining stuff, then people will automatically like your post and share it with their friends. If you do really educational stuff, they also might like the post, share it with their friends, save the post if they want to read into it later, or they're going to comment their opinion. Like you can ask them, what's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? And they're going to comment on your post. And the more engagement you get, the more views you will get, because Facebook wants to keep people on the platform. So Facebook will show your posts to more people. Like try to do that. And then what's also like bottom line, like extremely important is to get clear on your brand ID. So you definitely want to know like, who do you want to be? What kind of company do you want to be? What kind of people do you speak to? And get clear on your brand ID. So again, that's all very theoretical. So let me just show you like a very good example that I really like. So those guys are called Lock and Ladder. They're in Indianapolis. So I'm just going to open up their page real quick, and I'm just going to walk you through it. So first of all, starting off, clean looking page, clean logo, clean banner, people on here already building trust, looks professional, looks good. Then in the description, we have locally owned and operated, currently serving Central Indiana and Chicagoland. So again, very specific on like a certain location. It's not saying we're the 5-star rated roofing company, like it's specific. And then we have the street address, we have all the information that we need. We have their Instagram linked as well, with their website, clean, very simple. Now, what's really impressive with this page, what I like about those guys is, the postings. So I can just, walk you through a couple posts and show you what I mean. So, keep in mind what I just told you before, like what you want to do with those posts. So let's just look at the first one right here.
I was recently just in Spain and marveled at how old the roofs were, how rarely people have to replace their roofs. And I wonder, why do we just constantly rip roofs off every 17 years in the US? And I'm loving being able to put products on that are going to last generations and look beautiful. I mean, look at this. We're still under construction. We've got...
So obviously you might not have like the camera team or the production like to be able to record or push out content that's this high quality, and you don't have to. Like, to be clear, on Facebook and Instagram, it's totally fine if you be like, just pull out your phone and just do like a selfie style video. Keep it real, keep it honest. People appreciate that. But what I really do like about this post is just like the approach. Like, again, they have a very clear in mind like who they want to target with their postings. So this is not like, your average homeowner looking for a cheap asphalt roof probably won't engage in this, but there are like the wealthier homeowners in the area with like bigger homes. Like you can see even the B-roll, like the footage that they use is showing like a, like a bigger, higher end home. And then he's talking about like how he was recently in Spain, and he's telling a story. So it's kind of like entertaining, it's engaging, like you kind of like learn something, and you also like it's pretty much advertising. Like he's telling you that the roofs that they put on, like he want them to last very long, so it's like pushing very high quality. And that's just one post, and they're like putting out a lot of those posts, so you can look at everything. Like here we got like some more organic stuff, I don't know, showing like some pictures. It doesn't even have anything to do with roofing, not even roofing, and still it gets engagement. And then we can scroll further down.
Biggest thing about that first interview with Jonathan was that about 5 of the sales reps walked in mid-interview, and it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. Every single one of them were smiling, and we're roofers. Like, you don't see people smiling that much at 9 o'clock. First of all, you don't really see roofers out at 9 o'clock in the morning. Seeing those guys walk in here excited to be here and excited to see each other, that sales reps walked in mid-interview.
So that's kind of like, or it's just different. Like, you know, that's not nothing that every roofing company and their grandma would post on Facebook. It's more of like, you know, specific, like it's somebody sharing their experience of just working with those people. So it's not even selling roofing. It's just essentially selling the team. It's selling the people, you know.
Just outside of downtown Indianapolis in the Irvington Historical District, and we're installing a Brava synthetic roofing system.
So just in general, like how that is starting off, you know, like it's like talking about like a very, very specific area, like I said, keeping it like hyper localized, and then it's talking about a Brava synthetic slate system. So again, it's, you know, it's super specific, and it's not like, you know, they get like thousands of likes, but they do get a lot of impressions and people looking at this and, you know, looking into their website, and that just slowly like building that brand and establishing that. Like, you know, people who are interested in that, like higher end homeowners in the local area, like they will, you know, probably stop scrolling and look at that. And right here we got like a post starting off with, like, that's what I say mean by like kind of like landmarks. Like Stonegate is like a specific area in Indianapolis, so like people see this and they immediately know, like especially like the higher end homeowners, like where this is. So obviously, you know, it says Stonegate, so it's like again hyper localized, and then they show some footage of like the area. So it's not even like the first, I don't know, like couple seconds, it's not even about roofing. It's just like showing the area, and then, you know, then it kind of like transitions to where, you know, it's roofing. So what I also like really like about them is they have like a very specific brand ID. So they, you know, obviously, you know, branding is one thing, like having your logo and everything, but everything that they do has like a very, you know, it's like all within brand. Like it seems very professional and has a very specific vibe to it, attracting like a very specific customer. So, you know, not everybody that sees this will be interested in it, but the ones that do, like, that's what I say by, you know, what I mean by saying like niche down. It's really pushing an identity. Like it's not only a brand, like it's a brand identity. Like they're pushing, you know, they're promoting their team, the people in their team, what they do, their philosophy. Like there's so much more behind it than just saying, okay, I'm a roofing company, you know, I'm like everybody else, I'm just posting like photos of my roofs. And obviously you don't got to get like that crazy right away and that deep into it. Like that's really like pretty unique. But just use it like, you know, just think about it. Like look into this page if you got some time, and some other roofers pages, and just think about like, what do I want to be? So that being said, that's the organic side, and that's already great. Like you will probably get people reaching out to you, you know, from that organically. You can build a brand. But now when it becomes like crazy is if you actually leverage those platforms to do paid advertising. So paid advertising is really the same thing, just on steroids. So you can apply the same principles and you can run them on your same organic Facebook page, target your audience that you start to build, and just put a bit of money behind it. And it's ridiculous. Like you can look at the numbers. Like if you really do it right, you can, you know, get hundreds of leads from it. Like you can spend $20 and get 1,000 impressions on your ad and on your posts, and people will go on your profile and they will follow your page, and you will just slowly like build things up. And the great thing about it is also the targeting. Like you can decide exactly who you want to go after. Like you can do geo targeting, meaning target very specific zip codes, neighborhoods, areas, cities, counties. You can upload customer lists, what we call like a lookalike audience, and I'm going to get into that here in a second, and essentially retarget your customers, or even, you know, let Facebook find people similar to your customers that are on that list. You can use interests, you can use demographics. So starting off with the geo targeting, I, you know, want to show you like a quick example of an ad right here in a second, and then I also want to show you like how we go about it. Essentially, we're targeting like a very specific area, in this case Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. So instead of targeting like the whole state or like multiple, kind of like a bigger radius, like we just go after this specific area, and it's still relatively broad. Like you can even get deeper into it and do like zip codes or, you know, specific neighborhoods. But right here on the right, you can see an ad that we're running while targeting this specific area. So let me just show you how we start that off.
Hey, Myrtle Beach homeowners, we're saving you $1,000 off your roof replacement or no interest.
So you can see like just the way we started off, like within the first couple of seconds. So it's attention grabbing, you know, it's the owner in like a branded shirt, like the owner of the company standing on a roof shouting out, hey, Myrtle Beach homeowners. So already that's like very specific, like, you know, to the local brand. Obviously with advertising, you got to get a bit more, like you got to catch their attention. Like now there's money behind it. You get like thousands of impressions. So you got to grab their attention and you want them to convert. So we have like a whole ad with like a structure that I can show you if you want, but essentially it just comes down to grabbing people's attention and speaking again to a very specific customer in a very specific local market.
He'll inspect all of your decking, your accessories, and if everything is a green light, then guess what? You just saved $1,000. Simply Roofing is trusted in the Grand Strand area with only 5-star reviews. If you're interested in saving $1,000, click the link below. $1,000 off your roof replacement? You could put that towards your golf game. I know I need it.
So as you can see, it's like, you know, there's a lot of layers to it. Like, you know, they're talking about like the offer, obviously $1,000 off. That's one thing. That's just to, you know, grab kind of like attention if you run an ad. But other than that, there's like a lot more to it. Like, you know, we're switching angles. It's the actual owner like standing on a roof. Now he's here. Now he's on the golf course, you know, and that just ties back into, okay, like, you know, we want to go after wealthy homeowners. So, you know, a lot of them just play golf in that specific area. Like golf is pretty big in the Carolinas. So, you know, it's like, really like there's thought into it, and you know those homeowners from there that are that local, you know, and they might be interested in golf. Like they actually, you know, it grabs their attention, and it just builds trust with them, and they want to follow the page. Like even if they don't sign up on this, they're probably gonna follow the page, and they're gonna, you know, if they need a roof, like that's just a cool guy. Like it's just giving good vibes from, you know, the homeowner. So it's, you know, people is one big thing. Like, you know, you want to have energy in the videos. You want to bring across an energy that people want to work with. And again, then, you know, we're talking about quality, about 5-star reviews, local area. Those are all good things. So take inspiration from this. Now, the second thing that we can do is customer lists. Like you can literally upload like a CSV with like names, phone numbers of your customers to Facebook. That's what we call like a lookalike audience, or create like a lookalike audience, which essentially means that you're going to target the top, or Facebook's going to find the top 1% of people the most similar to the people on your list. So it can look at the phone numbers, look at all the Facebook profiles that are out there in your local area, and the ones that have the same interests, the same demographics, you know, the same patterns, Facebook's going to find them and target them with your ads and with your posts. So that way, you know, Facebook just more and more so like finds the real like people that you really want to go after. And that only works, of course, if your ads and your posts on social media are very tailored to the people that you want to reach, so that the people you want to reach actually engage with your posts. So Facebook, once again, can find them. But again, like uploading customer lists just skips that process a bit and makes it like even easier, especially if you have a big customer list. You can leverage it and make Facebook find the people you want to reach a bit quicker. Then the third thing that we can do is interest and demographics. So you can get very specific and creative with it, or you can just leave it more or less broad. I like to test both, especially when it comes to advertising. But what you can obviously, you know, set like the age, the gender. I usually do it like that, like 27 to 65 plus, keeping it broad, but still like, you know, we want to go after homeowners. And then with the interests and demographics, you can also keep in mind, like we mainly want to go after homeowners. So you can put stuff like home and garden in there. And then, you know, if you want to get more specific, you can even filter after household income. Like you can say, you know, I'm putting like the top 1% of household income of zip codes in there and just go after the wealthy people. You can put interests like golf in there. Like, for example, the ad that I just showed you, you know, it kind of like mentioned golf in there. So we might want to target people who are interested in golf. And that way you can kind of like get more and more creative and specific with the ads you run and the content you do. You know, I got a couple more ads that I can obviously show you. Like that's the one that I pretty much just show you, just kind of like starting off with like a golf hook.
$1,000 off your roof replacement? You could put that towards your golf game. I know I need it. Hey, Myrtle Beach homeowners.
So as you can see, like again, it's an ad that I just showed you, but it's kind of like starting off with the golf to hook people who are interested in golf and who are looking for a new roof. So pretty smart. And then, you know, right before it kind of like hits the hole, it transitions to Hey Myrtle Beach homeowners. Then a second thing that we have, for example, is that
Karma homeowners, join the home improvement revolution going on right now. What I'm holding is Brava's synthetic slate.
So as you can see, it starts off, again, targeting a local area, Hey Carmel homeowners, and then it's going after a specific demographic. Like, you know, people, again, your average Joe probably will skip this ad, which is totally fine because we just want certain people to engage with our ads.
But otherwise, you know, this is something so special that I said, mark my words, you will drive up and every time you pull in, you're going to look at your roof, which you've always taken for granted, and you're going to have that.
So I think at this point, you should probably get the idea. Like, it's just a lot less generic than what a million other roofing companies are running. You go after a very specific type of homeowner that you actually want to attract. And, you know, it's more unique. And this is how you actually build a brand and actually have people like your company, like you, want to reach out to you, and even like people, you know, that are really like following along with those guys, like they're willing to pay thousands of dollars more than they would pay with another roofer just to work with them and go through the experience of working with them and, you know, get high quality work done. So that's pretty much it for the video. I hope this was helpful and you learned a couple things. You can book a free strategy session with myself, first thing in the description below, and we can talk about your business, see how we can implement a couple of those things for you, and just talk about like your goals, what you want to achieve. If you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. I'm again uploading this content for free like every single week, so you can just follow along, maybe subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. If you got any questions, just pop them down below in the comments and I'll answer like pretty much any question. And then yeah, just enjoy my free content. I hope you got some value out of this and you have a great day.